Okay, so it's part whatever of the Ben Simmons stuff. And we had an article that dropped 2 days ago from a Philadelphia insider, Kyle Neubeck, I think is how you'd pronounce his last name. And he's followed by all the big NBA people on Twitter. Again, Philadelphia insider. I do trust the source. He's basically saying the only two teams who are really all in on Simmons right now, at least publicly, are the T-Wolves and the Cavs. Other teams like the Kings are saying Fox and Halliburton are not available. The Warriors are split. The Raptors at one time might have been more in, but now they're kind of out. And of course, the Dame and Beal situations are what they are. So my gut says a 3-team deal is how Simmons will get moved. Because when I look at these teams that are in the Simmons rumors and I think about what a 2-team deal would look like, it's either the Sixers get robbed or the other team is trading a guy that I don't think they really want to move. Now, before I talk about some of those teams and definitely the Cavs and the Wolves, I do just want to ask real quick, are we sure that some random team is not going to come out of nowhere with an offer for Simmons? I mean, how often does a number one pick who is already under contract for the next whatever seasons become available? You'd figure somebody that we don't know about right now would talk themselves into that. But to get back to the teams who have been in the rumors, with the Raptors, I imagine Van Vliet would be the centerpiece of the trade. That's the type of guard that I think Philly could use, especially if they're going to trade Simmons, somebody who can run screens with Embiid. You get back to the Kings, I'm sure the Kings would love to move Buddy Hield, but after that, I'm sure they're going to disagree on who the other guy moving in that deal would be for Simmons. Because I'm not sure if the Sixers would be that hyped over a Buddy Hield and Harrison Barnes return. So to get back to the Wolves and the Cavs, I think the starting point for those two moves, one it's Malik Beasley, the other it's Colin Sexton. If the Sixers don't want either one of those guys, then I don't know. I'm trying here with the Simmons trades, man. I mean, the Ben Simmons, karl-Anthony Towns fit. In theory, it's great. I mean, who better to put next to Simmons than maybe the best shooting center ever? So you think about a move. I mean, I imagine Malik Beasley would definitely be moving for the Wolves. I don't think they'd have much of a problem there. But after that, it gets tough to me because I don't think the Wolves want to move D'Lo or Anthony Edwards. And so then I feel like they would just have to offload a crap ton of picks. And I don't even know if the Sixers would want most of those picks. They'd probably have to go to a third team, and then the third team is sending something to the Sixers. But finding that third team is kind of difficult, especially if you're looking for someone who can be a primary ball handler. I mean, the Pacers offered Brogdon this offseason, but that was for Simmons. Why would the Pacers help out somebody else get Simmons if they think they can get Simmons, We're looking at the contracts that could help that all work. It would be Beverly and Taurean Prince's, and there are two expirings that combine to about $28 million. But those two I don't think can be moved for a little bit. And then we think about the Cavs. I would feel like the Cavs would want to move Sexton, and that's because the Sexton trade rumors have already been out there. So I think a third team would have to get involved. Also, Ben Simmons and Colin Sexton's salaries are different by a lot, so that would make things more complicated. The obvious contract to look at to help that sort of thing would be Rubio's $17 million expiring, although I don't think he can be moved until September 27th, I think it is. And I doubt Rubio would be going to the Sixers in a 3-team deal. I think he'd be going to the third team along with picks, and then that team is sending whatever to the Sixers so they can get more than just Colin Sexton. And between Rubio's $17 million, Sexton's $6 million, and then one smaller contract, that gets you close enough to take in Simmons' $33 million. And if you would think about a potential thing with Simmons on the Cavs with some of these big guys, I mean, Mobley, the draft people say he can grow into a shooter. Is he that right now? We'd have to see. Jared Allen, of course, more of a guy around the rim, even if he's had little signs as a shooter here and there. So it's tough to see the pathway for the Cavs surrounding Ben Simmons with as much shooting as possible. I mean, Garland, okay, but after that, between Okoro, Mobley, Jared Allen, it's not great in terms of floor spacing, even if you did just get Lauri Markkanen. Kevin Love is still technically on the roster, but he might as well not be. So it could be a little awkward, but if the Cavs really wanted Simmons and they wanted to see if all that could work, similar to the Wolves, they could just look to offload as many picks as they're comfortable with, and most likely a decent chunk of those go into a third team, so the Sixers can get more that they feel good about besides just Colin Sexton. Again, how crazy are the Wolves or Cavs willing to go? I don't know, but that's pretty much where the situation's at. It's waiting for something to budge. Between the Sixers and Ben Simmons' relationship and Clutch Sports, the Sixers' asking price, where other teams are willing to go with offers, Dame and Beal. So, yeah,